Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. That's funny. River wanted to join me for the music, and I said, "You better get out of here, buddy, because that music's about the end." But you want to say hi to everybody? You're blocked by our wonderful sponsors. There you are. All right. How was the day at school? Good?
Yep.
Yeah? Had fun?
Yeah.
Anything you want to share with the region weather folks?
I don't know.
Anything exciting going on weather-wise?
No.
No. All right. He says no. Okay. Go play. All right. See you, bud.
Yeah.
All right. Something feels different about doing this on a Monday night. I don't know. I feel more energy. I think on Sunday nights, I don't know. So here's my question. Here's what I want to ask you guys. Does Monday night work better for you in your schedule, or do you like the Sunday night where we look kind of at the entire week? Or would you rather do it Monday night? We look at the entire week, get into the weekend, the following week, etc. Because I feel more in it tonight, and I think that's after a day of work. Sunday nights for our family are just a little crazy because we're trying to get showers and stuff ready for school in a work week, and there's just a lot of preparation on the parental end. So that being said, I do want to raise the question: do you guys care what night we do this? What if we did multiple nights? What are your opinions on Region Weather Live? I know you don't live and breathe and die by region weather. I get that. But in terms of these broadcasts where we can get together and chit chat weather, especially as we get into winter weather season, what works best for you guys? So just throw that in the chat. I promise I'll read it later, and we'll go from there. All right. Want to thank everyone for joining us here on this Monday night. Let's see. We've got Ethan with us. Hi, Ethan. Jeff's with us tonight. Susan, Sean, or Deshaun is here. Hi, Deshaun. I'm glad you could join us tonight. Jeff doesn't care. Deshaun wants multiple nights. Susan says Monday's good. That's good. And hi, Mary. Hope you're doing well. We'll have some more people join. And here's the deal. If you're watching this later, I know this is early. It's 6:00 for a lot of you. You're trying to get dinner in place. I get it. I'm in my week routine right now. I got to get to bed soon because we've got more days of no sleep coming. But that being said, if you're watching this later, the information's not going to be outdated. Okay. I would prefer that some of you watch this later so we don't interrupt dinner. Okay. So that's okay. But we're recording this about 6:00. We are live as of about 6:00 here, Central Time on this Monday. All right. So let's dive in, shall we, to our forecast. JP, hello. Multitasking with work. That's awesome. And Susan's with us as well. We'll get to our sponsors in a second. I want to jump into the first half of this broadcast. This is how I want to start things off. We're getting some rain. We're getting much needed rain in Northwest Indiana. It's been so nice. We've had kind of waves of it. We've had some quiet activity in between as these bands kind of get developed. But look at this pattern right now. Very active finally across the United States. And the reason why we have this prolonged fetch of moisture coming into the region, and a lot more is coming our way tonight and tomorrow. But the reason why we have it is this baby right here. You see this little cutoff area of low pressure that's down in areas of New Mexico in the Four Corners region. This thing's just sitting. And so as long as this sits, the flow around it takes that air and brings it out of the Gulf of Mexico. And you can see just a ton of moisture streaming north. You get the occasional areas of energy in the atmosphere that produce that lift. And that's why you have these chunks of showers that move north as they attach themselves to a frontal boundary. So that being said, we are in a pattern right now until this low heads on out. But there's also a frontal boundary interacting. But either way, we're in a pattern that is conducive to good rain here over the next 36 hours. Could have some thunder around as well. And how about the temperatures? We're sitting comfortably in the 60s outside to near 70 degrees in most spots. And we're not going to change much tonight. Tonight's going to be a very summer-like night for us here locally. Windows open, albeit it will be raining. So if you are on a rainy side, you might want to close the windows. But either way, it just sounds like summer and it smells like summer and it feels like summer outside still. And we're sitting here at November 4th. Just incredible the way this pattern's been going. So I've got a lot to show you here. This is a really ugly map, but I just wanted to show it to show all the different things that we have going on with this system. This is wind and winter weather advisories, even blizzard warnings. These are winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings down towards the south. Out ahead of it, where we are, you've got flood advisories, water statements, and then you've got severe thunderstorm warnings and watches and tornado warnings down to the south. And then this brown area, that's our wind advisory that goes into effect tomorrow. So a lot of dynamics with this storm system, as you'd expect. Deeper area of low pressure. We've got the warm side of things, the cold side of things. Everything came together to kind of form a bigger storm. and it's not done yet. So for us here tonight, we've got more rain pushing in now. It's been kind of scattered over the last hour or so, but we've got a pretty good batch coming in from Illinois right now. And this is going to start to fill in. We're seeing good convergence along this. And so I do expect this rain to kind of pick up. We've seen that intensity kind of pick up over the last hour or so, heading through central Illinois. And then you get the actual kind of front back here. It's kind of a quasi front because there's a secondary one back towards the west. But this is where your severe weather's coming from. All of this is like a fire hose, and it's going to be aimed at Northwest Indiana and North Central Illinois tonight, all night, and then into the daytime tomorrow before it finally sweeps out. So we've got some really good rain trying to get in here. I'll show you what the models do with this, and you can see as we go through time, it brings in some pretty good rain as we get into the 10, 11 midnight hour, and then into tomorrow morning, we get a little break perhaps. So obviously tomorrow being election day, you probably want to know when the breaks in the rain are. And all indication is that we're going to get some kind of break early in the morning, maybe for those first, when the polls first open, voters, as that heavy rain that moves through overnight kind of lifts to the north, but briefly. Reason why I say briefly is because now the frontal boundary is approaching from the west, and you can see how that quickly closes in on us. So whatever moves through tonight lifts north. That seems to be the consensus. Barely north, but just north. We get a little break tomorrow morning, and then late morning into midday hours, the rain starts to move back. And then tomorrow midday or early afternoon into the middle half of the afternoon, that's when we perhaps get some thunderstorms around here with the front. And then we clear out, but this is after the polls close. So it does look rainy tomorrow. I would say the rainiest period is going to be when that front moves through tomorrow afternoon. Doesn't mean it's going to be a washout, but we're going to have a pretty solid band of some rain and storms moving through. Until then, I think there's a window in the morning, and I think it'll be kind of scattered getting into the midday and early afternoon hours. There'll be rain around, but it won't be persistent. Okay. So that is kind of the way things are going to go tomorrow. And then the front goes by and we develop a northwest wind that will cool us down as we go into our Wednesday. All right. And not anything crazy cold. I'm not expecting lake effect snow or anything like that. It just gets cooler. That's it. One of the big things we have to talk about tomorrow is wind. All right. We've got the wind advisory out. I could see, well, maybe, probably not actually. I was going to say I could see it maybe transitioning to a high wind watch or a warning. We may not approach that criteria, so I'm not going to say that. But watch the winds. This is in effect tomorrow morning through about the 4 o'clock hour. That's when that frontal patch is expected. So watch what the modeling is doing with the wind. This is overnight tonight, 20 to 30 mile per hour wind. So it will be breezy tonight. And then tomorrow, look at this, how it ramps up. Boop. There you go. We've got widespread 30 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts, not sustained, but gusts. It's going to get breezy around here as that low pressure approaches and that pressure gradient's on. So turning windy around here tomorrow morning. This will go through midday, and then here's afternoon. Here's the front. See how it's kind of detecting some of those thunderstorms with that line right there. Once that front goes through 4, 5, 6 o'clock, it'll still be breezy outside, but the real strong 40 plus mile per hour winds should be out of here. All right, so that's what we're looking at tomorrow. Gusty winds. It's not going to be persistent howling winds, but we'll get these pockets where you're like, wow, that was a strong wind gust. And, then it quiets down a little bit, 15, 20, and then it'll ramp up again. So really interesting how much wind energy is with the storm system. But if you've joined us on Read Your Weather Lives over the past month, we've been talking about that, how once we get to late October into November, we tend to start getting some wind systems. And Ethan, I know you're on here. You brought that up as well. You said, when are we going to get some wind systems in here? And we had that conversation. And so now we're into that time of the year where these systems, these deep areas of low pressure, they can pack some pretty decent wind with them. All right, where do we go from there? I've got a couple things I want to talk about. Let me first thank our sponsors. Let me get through that real quick. So if you have a dinner break or something like that, go ahead, grab food or refill, whatever you have to do. These sponsors keep all of our stuff for free. I can't tell you how much. I know prices have gone up everywhere. You'd be amazed to see how much more expensive it is to do just a simple broadcast like this with an interface and all the software I use. Things have quadrupled in the last 3 months, it's disgusting. But I'm so thankful for our sponsors because they enjoy Region Weather content. We know how important this is going to be and how great of conversations we're going to have once we get to the winter months. So I certainly appreciate them. FBI buildings, real quick. They're up top. If you need a new pole barn constructed, whether it be commercial or residential, they've done over 20,000 of them in the Midwest. They do awesome work on commercial and residential pole barns. And if you have an old pole barn that's up that maybe needs some renovating that they did not do, they'll renovate it for you. They do great work. FBIbuildings.com. Meals on Wheels, what a great organization. They're looking for volunteers. So this is kind of a call for help with this. If you have any spare time during the day, maybe you're going tomorrow and you're a poll worker and you're volunteering your time to work the polls tomorrow. God bless, first of all. Second of all, if you have extra time on your hands during the day, they could really use people to deliver meals. You don't have to do anything but deliver the meals. And when you deliver a meal, you're delivering smiles and love. I mean, that just sounds magical, right? So they could use some help. So get your pen and paper ready, or just rewind this. I need you to call Faith, okay, at Meals on Wheels, Northwest Indiana. Faith's number is 219-756-3663. She's expecting your call. Just tell her Region Weather sent you and that you'd love to volunteer some time again to donate some meals or deliver some meals. That's all they ask of you, and it really is a huge help to a great organization in Meals on Wheels of Northwest Indiana. PSA, with all this wind, if you have any storm damage or anything like that, don't go to your insurance company. Go to publicserviceadjusting.com. They're all local, licensed, insured adjusters from right here in Northwest Indiana. They're a wonderful group of folks to work with. I'm not kidding. They're fun, and they get the job done. And what they will do is they'll take pictures of your claim. They'll send it to your insurance company, and they'll do everything. They'll do all the back and forth between between them and the insurance company. You don't have to do anything, and they'll get you a big fat paycheck at the end of it for what you need to cover the damages. It's pretty awesome. 5-star reviews across the board. Publicserviceadjusting.com. Tiger Plumbing, that's our plumbers here in Northwest Indiana. TigerPlumbing.net is the website. They remind us now is the time of season that you need to turn off your outdoor water valves. All right. So know where that is, first of all, not your water to your whole house, your outdoor water valve. So if you have spigots outside, you want to go follow them in your basement or crawl space or whatever it is, and you want to find the pipe that's going out, right? And that will have a shutoff valve, and you want that shutoff valve to be obviously shut off, okay? Meaning it's not going with the flow of the pipe. It looks like this is perpendicular. All right, do that because you don't want your pipes to freeze. Especially with that outdoor spigot. And the other thing you want to do is drain your outdoor spigot after you shut that off. Just make sure there's no residual water and put a cap over it as well. All right, that's your PSA from our wonderful folks at tigerplumbing.net. They come out for free as well if you have any problems. Finally, well, actually, we've got a couple more. This is new information from Minogue.life. Michael Minogue has been serving Northwest Indiana in the world of Medicare, Medicaid, life insurance, all of that. He's been guiding people through what they need, if they have too much, if they don't have enough of any of that, if they have the right plan. He's been doing an amazing job doing that for decades around here. Minogue.life is the website. He wants me to know that, or wants you to know, me to let you know that right now we're in an annual enrollment period through December 2nd or 7th. Okay. So during this time, he encourages everyone to review their current Medicare health insurance and drug coverage. All right. At his office, he reviews with people the coverage that they have, along with any changes that are happening for the next year. So if you don't know that stuff, it might be helpful to sit down with Michael and go over this stuff. He found that often people who signed up on their own or by telephone are unaware of all the benefits that they have. This is especially true with Part C, also known as Advantage plans, and that you need to be in network. You need to know your network of doctors, and finding a plan that does not include your doctor or hospital, well, that can be pretty frustrating. It's important to know that there's no best plan for anyone. There's no correct plan for anyone, right? That's why he strongly encourages you taking the time to have an in-office appointment to ensure your choice is a good fit for you and includes your healthcare providers and medications, all right? He lumps it all together and makes it make sense, which is just great. What an art form. All right, 2 more to get through here. I appreciate it, guys. Kate Cusack. Oh, she's just wonderful to work with. She works with Ruoff Mortgage. She wants to be your local lender for all your mortgage needs. The Fed dropped the rates, right? What does that mean for your mortgage rates? Well, they're coming down. I mean, there's a chance they may approach the 5% mark by the end of 2025. Does it go below that? Who knows? But if it's time for you to refinance, make sure it makes sense. But if it is, she will certainly do that for you. She's done thousands of people's refinances. She's found thousands of houses for people, and she will support you. Maybe you're looking for a brand new home. She'll support you every step of the way. On Facebook, you can find her as Kate Cusack Home Loan Girl, or you can call or text her 219-775-6645. Again, if you are in the market for a house or if you're looking to refinance, go to Kate. She's just awesome. Last but not least, Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Valparaiso. They've got brand new 2025 Jeeps ready to go, and they've got four-wheel drive, and they're amazing. And we don't need four-wheel drive right now because it hasn't snowed, and it's November, and it probably should have snowed by now. But we've got snow coming our way. I can almost assure you that. And I'm going to show you that here in the long-range modeling. Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is the place to go. All right. Thanks for letting me get through those, guys. Let's jump into the second half of the forecast. Where I want to take you now is through the rest of November. I know that sounds crazy. Like, what, Matt? You don't believe in super long-term forecasting. I just want to show you some potential of stuff that's coming, okay? So rest of the week, we've got the rain and storms around right now that are moving in tonight and tomorrow. Wednesday, we're going to say goodbye to it, all right? We'll quiet down Thursday. Looks nice. Friday looks good as well. And then in terms of the weekend, if I had to pick a day, I would pick Saturday to have your outdoor plans or any plans because Sunday looks a little rainy around here. Saturday, what we'll probably see is we'll start with sunshine. We'll have increasing high clouds throughout the day, and then those clouds will give way to some late day rain. So Saturday evening, we may have rain around as our next system kind of dislodges from the southern plains. That will bring some rain through. Doesn't look to last particularly long. This rain would be in here probably Saturday night into Sunday morning before moving out. So there's that. We'll turn a little bit cooler behind it on Sunday. And then you can see Monday, we're doing just fine. The Euro did something interesting this afternoon on the 12Z, which is what I'm showing you. It kind of develops, there's a lot of cold air out west, but it develops the storm system and it starts to develop it over us. This is a new look. This hasn't been on the Euro. It hasn't been on any modeling. So I'm curious if tomorrow morning on the 0Z it's on, and I'm curious if the 12Z tomorrow has it. But this would bring in not this Tuesday, Wednesday, obviously not tomorrow and Wednesday, but the following week, this would develop, if this happens, a strong low in the Great Lakes with probably 60s, maybe 70 again in advance. But then you could see it brings in some really cold air, probably 20s and 20s and 30s for highs. That would be a big difference, all right? And that would arrive, says the Euro, on the 14th. That would also kickstart lake effect, all right? And I'm not seeing enough lake effect here. I know the moisture leaves, but that's some really cold air over our lake waters, which are running anywhere from 3 to 6 degrees above average. I would imagine this would really get the lakes going in terms of some lake effect. So we'll see how that goes. But the Euro just developed that today. It has not had that solution. It's kind of evolved things a little bit more quietly. So we'll see if it continues to latch on to some kind of big front with some Arctic air finally. And I'm not talking just cold air for November, like cold for November into middle half of the month. Okay, so we'll see if that happens. The other thing I want to show you, the rain that's coming Saturday night into Sunday is from this same system that currently it's from a new system, but it's from a system that will be down in areas of Colorado and New Mexico for several days. And I just want to show you this. So here's the system now. This is why I thought almost it was the same thing, because they're getting real heavy snow, southern Colorado and New Mexico right now. Watch what happens. That system pulls out, new one dives in, and the snow for Denver, the Rockies, the southern Rockies down towards Colorado Springs and northern New Mexico, even over towards Tucson, this snow develops Wednesday, all right, like 2 days from now, Wednesday. And then it just keeps going. This low just sits. Here's Thursday, still heavy snow. Friday, still heavy snow. Saturday, still heavy snow. And then it finally curls on out of there. But in terms of snowfall totals, let me show you this. I mean, some of the models are saying, and they've been latching onto this for some time, that there's going to be anywhere from 20 to 40 inches of snow for these folks down there. That's a big deal, and it's kind of an odd spot on the map. I was looking at the drought monitor across the country, and this is really one of the only spots in the country that really doesn't need rain or snow. It's amazing. They don't have too bad of a drought in southern Colorado and northern New Mexico. It's pretty amazing, but they're going to get hit hard with an early system snow. And even Denver's going to get some snow from this. It doesn't look to be crazy for Denver, but just interesting to see. And you can see as a whole, I mean, the Rocky Mountains, the Cascades, Sierra Nevadas, they have, if you're wondering where our snow has been and where cold has been, it's been out west. it's been balanced in terms of warmth out east and cold out west. It's not like everyone's warm. It's not like everyone's cold, but it's really incredible. The ski season that has started out there. This is really the third, even maybe fourth now straight season where they're off to the races in terms of snowfall. So interesting trend to see there, right? But lots of snow for those folks. And if you're traveling out there, certainly going to be interesting. All right, I want to take it through the rest of November. We take this with a grain of salt, but this shows trends. And this is the model I showed, I think, 2 weeks ago. I'll occasionally show it. It's called the CFS. There are multiple long-range models that will take you through the pattern. They'll take you through what it's expecting all the oscillations to do and all that. I like looking at this for pattern recognition to see, well, are we going to stay mainly mild, for the next 2-3 weeks? Are we going to have any cold hits? Blah, blah, blah. All right. And what we're looking at here, I know it's kind of tough to see. This is the United States outline. Here's California and the West Coast here. All right. Here's Gulf of Mexico, if you can kind of see it. Here's Indiana right here. This is all Canada. All right. This is the air you don't want to get into. This is our coldest air we get during the year when you get below zero. Okay. We typically don't see this kind of purple and white shading come in until maybe once or twice, January, February, right? We have been in kind of the yellowish shades, which are 60s and 70s. Green are like 50s, and then you get below freezing once you get in the blue. Okay, just to take you through that. So let's go through time. Let's watch what happens. Right now, here's our big high pressure off the East Coast. That's why we've got all this warm air. Okay, a ton of warm air. So as we go through time, okay, we're now up to Friday, and I'm not going to call out the dates anymore. I just want you to watch the pattern. We stay fairly mild into the weekend. We stay fairly mild into next week, and you see what develops again, kind of some kind of high pressure, it says, into next week. That's why that Euro solution is a little weird to me right now. We'll see if it starts to latch onto that, but the Euro is the only one that brings in that cold next week. Everyone else keeps this kind of mild. Okay, we're now into November 16th, 17th, 18th. Cold air really building in Canada, as you'd expect. Still nothing here in the eastern U.S., and really the West Coast starts to warm up a little bit as well. 21st, 22nd, 23rd. We're now at the week before Thanksgiving, and we've got some colder air, but nothing too crazy yet. And even the cold air in Canada is kind of relaxed, all right? This is now 24th, 25th, 26th. We are now at Thanksgiving, all right? This, again, take with a grain of salt, but we're looking for trends. This model in particular says much of the country is fairly mild. This would probably be 40s or 50s for Thanksgiving, which is seasonable, but there's no Arctic outbreaks. That's really what I'm looking for on this map, or Arctic outbreaks. Then watch this. It's like December flips a switch, okay? Boop-a-doop-a-doop. This is November 30th. We're still fine and dandy, right? And then, oh boy. All right. There's an Arctic hit of air. This is December 3rd. This would kickstart heavy lake effect snows. We'd probably have temperatures in the teens for this one, which is pretty darn cold for early December, right? So that would be a hit there. And then just look at, this is what I want to show you. We're staying cold through the 6th, 7th. And then this one right here, it doesn't quite get there, but this would drag some of this truly polar air down. And you just see how much of it's unloading into southern Canada. And that's what we watch for, is that kind of dislodge of air from polar regions to southern Canada, because once it's in southern Canada, we have fronts going through all the time, then a front can grab it. And so that being said, as I look at this, it doesn't mean it's true, all right? But I like to look at this stuff because it gives you trends. It looks like November, via looking at this, would continue to be kind of on the mild stretch, all right? Occasional cool air here and there, but that's it. All indication is as we get into the month of December, we may have some much colder air around here, which, right? It's December. I get it. All right. We've got certainly, colder temperatures expected around Christmas. All right. That's the way things go. But indication is that we may get some really cold air in December. All right. And it's a La Nina winter. It's just a matter of time. I mean, all indication is that we also get a lot more snow this winter. So we'll see where we go. We're not quite there yet. But I just wanted to show that to you, because if I see it on the modeling and I'm interested in it, I assume you are too, because long-term stuff is fun to look at. It's fun to wish. You can kind of wish cast this stuff and say, ooh, there's snow coming for Christmas. We'll see. But anyway, lots of cold air coming our way. All right. Okay, everybody, as we always like to do at this time, if you have any weather questions, go ahead, throw them in the chat. I can imagine how much food is on keyboards because I'm getting you right during dinner right now. But I do appreciate that. And as always, I just want to say this for some of the folks that jump off that don't have questions or have stuff to do. I get it. Thanks for switching times on me and doing a Monday evening instead. we're going to reevaluate what works family wise and all that schedule wise. But the reason we didn't do it over the weekend, I forgot to throw that in there. My whole family and we all got COVID over the weekend. It's like 2020 all over again. We narrowed it down because I'm science, I always have to like, where exactly do we get COVID from? We narrowed it down to trick or treat, which happened, 2 weeks ago, because a couple other family members we think got it that, went their separate ways. And so it wasn't our family that brought it in. I think it was from some kind of trick or treat thing. I don't know if it's from candy or what, but anyway, my two sons got it first. I haven't had it. Our whole family really hasn't had it since the first round back in 20. It was probably 2020, I think it was. And that was nasty. I just remember that being nasty. And I assumed it was like the common cold now, because that's what everyone was saying. But it was not good. It wasn't fun at all. It reminded me of 2020 all over again. And I'm going to be honest, I haven't gotten a booster since the first two, so I'm overdue for that because I thought it was a common cold. But anyway, my sons got it first, and they just kind of took long naps, and they woke up super sweaty. And that was really all they got from it. We're like, oh, the kids got something from school, So my wife and I, we never get that. We never get what they have from school. It's them working out their thing. And we view it as like, it's not bad when the kids get sick from school. Like, they're building up immunity, right? I was sick all the time when I was little, and I don't get sick anymore. And I know a lot of adults don't either. But anyway, that being said, two boys got it first, and then my daughter got it, and she was a little bit worse. She's our oldest. She's 8. And she got it pretty bad. She was out for a couple days, headache and just everything. And then my wife got it, and I'm like, oh man, like, and we didn't know it was COVID, and so she got it, and she was pretty bad. And I went to work, and we had like a work meeting, and I had to leave it, and I had to go lie down. I mean, I was getting lightheaded, which, whatever. And it hit me hard. Like, I came home, and it was like 2 days of just everything, like headache, worn down, fever. I felt like I was marathon training, which, I've done several times, and your body just aches the whole time. And then it turned, what was amazing to me about, and what's amazing about COVID is that it's not just one symptom. It's like every symptom from everything. You get a sore throat for like 12 hours, and that goes away. Your stomach hurts for like 12 hours, and that goes away. And then you have a bad headache, and that goes away. And then it comes back. And it's just these symptoms just evolve, and it attacks here, and then it's here, and then you're coughing, and then you're sniffling all of a sudden, then you can't breathe. It blows my mind that a disease can do that. But anyway, so we went through that. So my whole point is, I needed to sleep yesterday. And obviously we had a lot of stuff going on trying to get the kids ready for school. But I want to say thank you to you guys for just being flexible on this, and for the continued support. All right. All those things are not lost on me. And I know you guys probably don't even care, but it bothers me when I have to change a schedule that maybe some of you are waiting on a Sunday night to something else. That really bothers me, because I'm worried that I'm like blowing up lives. And I know that's not the case, but anyway, I have you in mind when I do that. I just want you to know that. Okay. So that's that. All right. Let me get to your questions for you real quick, and then we'll get you on your way here on this Monday night. Okay. JP always asks good questions. You get to go first, buddy. Hopefully any lake effect will hold off until after mid-month. Don't want to tangle with that. Oh, trying to drive to Toledo on. Oh yeah. JP, that can always get interesting right around that South Bend area, right? Right when you're going past the Notre Dame exit, that's when the snow tends to hit. And then once again, when you get into LaPorte. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on that for sure, JP. I hope that's not the case. Kathy, flying to Florida on Sunday morning early and coming back following Saturday. You think we'll be good weather-wise? Oh, Kathy. I do think you'll be good weather-wise. Let's see, you're going Sunday morning early and coming back Saturday. So you're going to encounter, Kathy, some rain on your way down. And it might be a little bumpy on the way down as well, because you're going to be following that storm system that moves. And I closed my window for it, but it'll show up in here. It's going to be kind of lumpy though. And this isn't something I normally use here, so I'm sorry for that. Let's see. So this is really ugly. I'm all about like the way things look, and this is just such an ugly presentation of the weather. But that happens. Okay, this doesn't even go that far. So there's that. The Euro will. Here we go. Okay. Oh, they cleaned this up. This looks better. So here's your Sunday storm system. So this is what I'm talking about, Kathy. So you're going to be flying through this storm system that brings the rain Saturday night, Sunday. So it may get a little bumpy because there's some jet energy with that as well. And then once you get down there, that storm system looks like it kind of lingers across the southeast. So not terrible, but you'll have some rain around. And then the following weekend, it all depends on if that strong storm system develops. And we could have a wicked wind out of the northwest. We'll see. A little too early to tell on that, but your flight down may be a little bumpy as you go over some of those clouds, and probably some good looking clouds on your flight as well. Yeah, Susan Terry, thank you very much. Feeling much better. Deshaun says that was me 2022, 2024, got COVID 2 separate times. Yeah, it's just not fun. I thought I thought COVID was done. That's funny. Ethan says COVID symptoms are like big severe weather events. One will happen, it'll go, then it'll start again, then it'll go. That's funny. Tom, what's interesting, we got so much sun heading into that, I mean, I'm not kidding. We were outside almost every day. We were outside for trick or treat forever because it was nice. And, I wish that was the case. I wish, the sun helped, but we do need the sun. And I don't like this fact the sun sets at noon every single day. At least that's what it feels like. Yeah, Amanda, you had it too, huh? Nick, thank you. I appreciate that, buddy. Let's see. Deshaun, great question. Any severe weather for Northwest Indiana locally? There's a risk. Storm Prediction Center is putting, I believe they have, I don't think they're in marginal yet. I didn't check the latest update. I should have. But I'm not too worried about severe weather from this system as it's going by. We're going to have strong winds tomorrow, and there's strong wind energy already with this. So any thunderstorms that do develop tomorrow, especially midday towards afternoon when that front's going by, Deshaun, any of those storms may have some stronger winds or those wind gusts within them. So I could see some real gusty showers if they develop tomorrow, but widespread severe weather, I'm not anticipating it. No, I'm not. Great question, though. Let's see. Andrew says, glad you're better. How about a South Carolina forecast? You did sell the snowblower, so we're in for a snowy winter. Yeah. Andrew, I can cook a South Carolina forecast up for you next time. All right. For sure. You are going to get this front down there, though. The weather's been probably just as nice in Northwest Indiana since you left as South Carolina, but you'll begin to get the laughs. Andrew was a longtime region rat, I guess you can call it. And then Andrew moved down to South Carolina. He didn't want to, well, I don't know if he didn't want to, but he didn't want to leave all of us region folks. But anyway, Andrew, you're really going to enjoy, I think, January, February, and March because the cold, as you know, the cold just doesn't last as long down there. My family, when we first started our family with Emmy, I was doing weather down in Georgia, as many of you know, and it was southern Georgia, and it didn't feel right. But I mean, it was nice. Like the coldest we got was like, we'd have days like 38, 39 and in the 40s, and it was freezing, but it didn't last long. You'd be 50s, 60s the next day. And that's how you're going to enjoy South Carolina. But it doesn't feel right not having the seasons. We'd watch football, it'd be 90 degrees, and we wanted fall, so that was the weird part for sure. Deshaun, what is your email contact for Region Weather? I have an idea for a sponsor organization I'm personally involved in. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, if you guys have any sponsor ideas, we've got more content coming out all the time. So Deshaun, the email it's contactregionweather@gmail.com. So contact the word, all one word, contactregionweather@gmail.com. All right. It is on our website. If you go to regionweather.com, you can click, I believe it's the contact tab, and you can send an email that way. So for sure, would be happy to learn about that as long as they're local. We only do local sponsors. Okay. All right. Kathy, you're welcome. Yes. Let's see. Rich said, I missed the first day of being able to complain. My complaint is I have nothing to complain about. That's awesome. JP, I don't like the time change. I know you're being sarcastic with me. That's funny. Ooh, Kathy, good question. I like this, Kathy. Should I bother to blow the leaves before Friday? Got a few trees still with all the leaves. Kathy, I would not. Well, you could do it Wednesday. You need to give them a day or two to dry out. So no, I would do it on Friday because they're going to need to completely dry out first. And the other thing is the leaves are good for the ground. They really are. They're not good for your grass. All right. You need to get them off the grass, obviously, but you can wait till Friday. The wind is going to be gusty really through probably tomorrow night. Wednesday, it'll start to back off. So Wednesday, you'd be able to leaf blow. Thursday, you'd be able to, but it's still going to be wet from the rain. So there's that. So I think Friday is a good day for sure. Ethan asks, could there be severe weather from this weekend system? Ethan, there's not that much instability this weekend, buddy. No, this weekend system, not here at least. All right. Because that system develops as a compact low and then it spreads out. And whenever you see a system that's elongating like that, that means the energy is not compact anymore. That energy is elongating, and there's not going to be enough push with it. Could we get thunderstorms with some of that instability? Sure. But I do not see that as being a severe weather event. I don't know. Mother Nature can prove me wrong. I'm just guessing at this point, but I don't see that. Kathy, yeah, in terms of the rain down there, it looks like that rain's going to stick around for a lot of your trip, because what's going to happen is the front that goes by on your trip there, and this is what fronts do down in the southeast this time of year. It stalls, all right? It doesn't make it any further. So it comes in and it just sits, and then that Gulf of Mexico moisture gathers around it. So I think you're going to have a good portion of your trip daily, at least. It doesn't mean it's going to be a washout, and it depends on what part of Florida you're going to. But the way usually it works in Florida is you have your daytime heating produces enough instability. The front does as well. So you'd have mainly afternoon and evening daily storms as it looks right now. And that would be the duration of your trip. I mean, I see it every day down there, unfortunately. Not crazy, though, for sure. So, Susan, our drought, we did a post on it earlier this week. Our drought actually expanded. So we are now in I believe it's severe drought across a good portion of the region. So just, outside of logistics, we need anywhere from 3 to 6 inches of rain. That's quite a bit. We can't make that up real quickly. We can this time of year with a good Gulf of Mexico system, but we could use anywhere from 3 to 6 inches of rain over a widespread area. Good news is we're going to get some good rain tonight and tomorrow. This is going to put a dent in it, all right? And I think that would get us out of that severe category, maybe back to moderate or slight. So we'll see, but it has expanded across a good portion of Northwest Indiana, and much of the country is in drought right now. So these big systems is what we've been lacking. We've kind of had a quiet systems over the last 2 months that haven't had a lot of Gulf of Mexico moisture. And if we look at this system right now, I mean, it's attached to the Gulf of Mexico finally. So we're getting good moisture feedback. So we'll get out of it. I'm not too worried about it, but we'll get out of it as we go through time. Let's see. Let's see. Ethan says, could we have high winds with late next week system? I don't think quite as high, Ethan. Yeah, I think this system right now is the one that's producing the most wind over the next 7 to 10 days for sure. Let's see. Oh, I see. That's interesting, Kathy. Meant to add this, since storms don't flow across the country, how can they predict the rain? So they go by percentages down there. You can't predict exactly where it's going to pop. It's very similar, Kathy, to what we have in the summertime, because literally that Florida and deep south atmosphere comes north in the summer, right? And so it's those days where there's nothing, and then storms pop up randomly depending on where they decide to pulse up, and that's kind of what happens down there. So they don't really predict when exactly or where exactly it's going to rain. They'll talk about coverage. So you'll see a lot of percentages on their 7-day forecast for sure. Jeanette, I got this loaded up. I saw your question come in on how much rain today and tonight. So indication is it depends on where this band sets up. There's going to be this band of rain that develops. Here it is moving in, but see how this kind of develops into kind of a band there. It depends on how long that lasts and where it sets up before it moves back in. I say all that just to say, if that sets up a little bit further east, we'd get more rain out of this. But right now I'm thinking anywhere from probably 3/4 of an inch to 2 inches of rain tonight into the daytime tomorrow. So we have a really good chance to put a good drought dent in that drought. And you can see some of these numbers on the models indicating, there you go, 1 to 2 inches of rain. So that's good. And our ground, thankfully, thanks to this light rain that we've had and some of these moderate bursts every now and then over the last 24 hours, that's helped the ground to kind of soak in a little bit of that. What you don't want is a drought, and then you don't want heavy rain on it, because that water can't go in that dry ground for a while. It takes a while to soak in. So, it's going to be very beneficial tonight for sure. Yeah. Oh, Kathy, heading to Disney World for your honeymoon. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Yeah, congratulations, Kathy. That's gonna be great. You know what they say about rain on your honeymoon? They don't say that, but that's the way. Let's see. JP, is the only difference between a wind and a gale advisory the wind speed threshold? That JP, I actually don't know that. I'm not huge on marine meteorology. I know enough to report on, if there is a gale warning out in the lake, but I don't know the difference between that. That's something I'd have to look up. So you stumped me on that, JP. I appreciate that. But the gale advisories, I may know this, JP. So the gale advisories are for out over open waters. That is a marine meteorology term. All right. So we would never have a gale advisory here on land. All right. That would be for out over the open waters. So maybe that's what you're asking. Whereas a wind advisory is issued for land, they don't have wind advisories for out over water. The water, they have small craft advisories, and then it goes, they have gale advisories, and then I believe they have a gale advisory, and then they have gale warnings. Gale warning is the strongest wind out over the water. So I do think I answered your question. The gale stuff is for the water. The wind advisories and high speed or high wind warnings and stuff like that, that's for land. All right. So there's that. I don't know the difference, though, between wind advisory wind and gale advisory wind. So there's that. Yeah, you're welcome, Kathy. For sure. Have a great trip. Keep us updated on that along the way, okay? All right, everybody. Thanks for joining me on the night. Wow, 43 minutes went real fast. You guys have a great night. We've got some great things in the work. I can't wait to share them with you. I know I keep saying that. I'll let you know when we can announce that stuff. But there's some really cool things coming up down the road that Region Weather's doing to expand. So there's that. Kate's with us. Hi, Kate. Thanks for joining us. I'm waving and I have the name your name's over. But anyway, thanks for joining us, Kate. I appreciate that. Linda, have a great night as well. Susan, you too. Guys, rest up, wash your hands, okay? Don't get sick. All right. We're that time of year. We'll see what happens. All right. You guys have a wonderful night. We'll keep you updated throughout the week. Don't forget, we've got forecasts every morning on regionweather.com. You can sign up for emails. I know everyone's asking you to sign up for email. This is literally, you sign up for it. It'll go to your inbox once a day. It's something I'm typing in the morning with a graphic. That's it. You get it in the morning. It's in your inbox. Oh, Matt wrote something on our weather for the day. And it's non-invasive and there's not ads all over it. Okay. At least I don't think. But anyway, that's on regionweather.com. Also, don't forget we're on XRock 103.9, Indiana 105.5, and Z107.1 every single day with your local forecasts and some live interviews and stuff like that. So that's that. Susan, thanks for loving the emails. Linda, you too. All right, guys.